This is one mistake I constantly see realtors making on social media. There are a lot of realtors who are posting consistently, posting to stories, posting to their feed, but very few of them have optimized bios. Your bio is your homepage on Instagram and on TikTok where people come to know what you and your profile are all about. But I see a lot of realtors not making the most of the space that they are given in their bios. So here's my system to maximize the real estate on your bio to increase your page views, your follower count, and your engagement. So the first thing, let's start real simple, your profile picture. Your profile picture should be a headshot of you. Hopefully you are smiling. It should be well edited. It should look good. And it should have a plain background. Complicated backgrounds just make it harder to see your face. You really want to take it to the next level. Use an editing platform like Canva or Photoshop to take your picture out of the background and add a solid colored background. This is really useful for two reasons. It makes you stick out when you're on stories and people's feeds. It also makes it easy when you are telling people to follow you to tell them what color the background is, and then they're going to know as soon as they search you what the right profile is. Once you have a great headshot, let's move on to your username. Your username should be easily searchable. That means we don't want complicated words, especially like last names. It's easy to instead do something like your first name, agent, your first name sells somewhere. I could do something like Zach sells Virginia, or Zach sells VA, or Zach lists VA. Something like that is very hard to make a spelling error. And that's gonna make sure that more people are able to find you and don't get lost in the sauce of spelling errors. Once you have your username optimized, let's move on to your nameplate. So that's your name actually on your profile. Most people just have it as their name. What a lot of people don't know is that your nameplate is actually used in Instagram's SEO. So we wanna put relevant information in there for people who are searching for things like Virginia Realtor. So instead of just having your name, I want you to put your name and then slash or dash and then wherever you're a real estate agent, and then put real estate agent. This is gonna let people search for you based on their location. So if it's in Virginia, VA Realtor is gonna allow people who search VA Realtor in Instagram to find you. This is also a way to just maximize more information on your bio because it's very short and very small on Instagram. So by putting that information up in your name, you're gonna save more space down below for more stuff. Now, before we go on to the rest of the bio, I would love if you could hit that like button or go ahead and subscribe. I really appreciate you being here. Now back to the content. Okay, now moving into the meat of your bio. Bio really has 3 lines and we want to make sure that we maximize each. The first thing is we want to avoid our lines going over too long because if so, they're going to bump onto the next line. It's going to push our content down further and make our content look just a little bit discordant. So we're going to avoid that. Just keep it really short so that your lines aren't going on to a second line. With that, your first line you want to be how you help people. This should be what your first line is all about. How in the real estate world do you help people? You can go through a little exercise and think about how you help people, how you would phrase that, and then you want to put that in your first line. The second line is going to be who you're going to help. We know you probably help tons of buyers and sellers, but if you have specific niches in, if it's a military, if it's first-time home buyers, if it's luxury, if it's land, there are 1,000 ways that real estate agents can specialize. You want to add those. Why? Not because it excludes people who don't fit those demographics, but because it allows you to attract people who can now empathize or now can feel understood or feel like you might be a great agent for them. Now you can attract people in those specific demographics who are going to be more interested in looking further into your profile because you do exactly what they're looking for. Your third line, you want to have a call to action. So that is a small task people who land on your page can take that would be helpful for you. Things like visiting the about page on your website, or maybe filling out a contact form. Things like that people might be able to take. If you have a free resource that would be useful for buyers or sellers, this would be a great place to link that or link how people can get to that. But your call to action is all about how we bring people more into your sphere of influence. How do we get them on your email list? How do we get them to DM you? That is exactly the kind of thing that we want people to be doing here. If you don't have anything else ready, I recommend putting the About page on your website as a link. Not the homepage, because homepages are usually pretty blank and bland, but the About page lets people learn more about you and the services that you offer, which is going to help them to come to know, like, and trust you, and hopefully give you a follow so that you can nurture them more. So this is my super simple framework. We want to have a really clear and bright profile picture. We want to have a username that is searchable and easy to spell. We want to have a nameplate that has your name and is SEO optimized by the real estate agent wherever you are. Then in our bio, we want to say how you help people, who you help, and then a call to action. This whole exercise can be very, very quick, but this is going to make sure that when people do come to your webpage, they're going to understand who you are and what you do better, so they're more likely to give you a follow. If you have questions or comments, please drop them down below. If you learned something from this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. My name is Zach Hoops, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.